We are happy that you are here. That means you want to further develop in your life. Thank you for joining us when we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to defeat struggle, and how to take responsibility for your own happiness. I am your host Joakim, and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Let's make a 101% effort in making our lives the best we can. Welcome back, everyone. This episode is about how to avoid manipulation. Have you ever felt like someone is pulling the strings behind you? Like you are getting lured into something or that someone has a hold of you? Oftentimes, we might not even notice it, but it can affect us in a very bad way. Join us as we dig deeper into manipulation and how we can protect ourselves from it. So, Annika, what are you doing those days?
Now we're in Ramadan. It's going towards an end. It's only 9 more days left, and the time is flying by. It's a very nice time where I'm reading a lot in the Quran. I'm looking at lectures at YouTube to learn more about Islam and things that I wonder about. And every morning we wake up at like 3:30. We eat together, the family, before we pray and start our fast. And then we break the fast together in the evening, oftentimes with guests that we have invited to us, or we're invited over to people. So it's a very social, peaceful month.
Okay, good. Is it difficult to stay out without the water and food all day?
No,
Yeah.
it's not. And I'm very fortunate. I don't train as much these days. And even at training, it's fine. You feel like a warrior, and we're able to drink when the training is almost over. And it tastes even better than ever. So you're disciplined, you're more appreciative, you have more gratefulness. So I have only good things to say about it.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Mhm.
Some years ago, I talked with a Muslim, and he told me every Ramadan now, the days get shorter. So
Mhm.
the time is going the right way, he told me.
That is true.
Is that true, yeah?
That is true, because we're in Norway, and here in the summertime, of course, we have long days with daylight, and in the winter, very short days. So for us in Norway, it's short days now. But then each year, Ramadan moves about 10 days according to the lunar calendar. So I think they say in like 15 years, we're going to have very long days again, because then Ramadan will come in the Norwegian summertime. So now it's easy.
Okay.
Mm. How about you? What's going on in your life?
Oh, where should I start? No, it's I have worked extremely hard the last 6 months, all the time, and I start to feel it now. Yeah, I think I am in a starting phase of get burnout,
Mhm.
because I work, and suddenly I get so exhausted. I'm so tired. I just have to relax, and I relax for a while, and then I start work again, and I do it some hours, and then I suddenly get so tired again. I just have to sit down and relax. And it have been like this now for the last 3 weeks. And I talk with you about it, and I tell you I work very hard, but I also try to relax and like this. But you told me you think that I not get mental restitution has not been good enough, because I think about work all the time and like this. So that was a very good tips of you. And another day, I know I working a little bit, and then I was so tired I just have to take a break, sit in my bed, relax a little bit, and then I said to myself, okay, come on, go out. And I had to fight with myself very hard just to go out. And then I walk for 10 minutes, take a trip, and I boost myself. Okay, I'm gonna come back, I'm better, and I'm gonna work. And then I come back, work for some hours, and then suddenly hit me again. Then I have to take some hours off just to relax. And then later in the night I work a little bit again. So I have reduced the hours I work now. I still have to work a lot, push a lot of pressure, but I cannot work as hard as I have done now. And I have been burned out many, many times in my life. And now I feel it, yeah. So then I just have to reduce, work less than I have, and focus more on my mental restitution. And when I am gonna be better again, I'm gonna start going beast mode again. So I just I just have to reduce a little bit so I avoid it there, so I don't get burnout.
Mhm.
So I think a lot about this, and of course, it annoyed me, but what can I do? I just have to do the best out of the situation.
Mhm. Definitely. And the worst thing is to be ignorant of your body's signs, because your body is screaming at you to slow down a bit. And this can be about so many things. It can be about outside factors, because we only have this much of energy, 101%, you know? And if if many things is happening, stressful things, you know, going on in your life, the battery will go down, and then you won't have as much in the tank. Because for the 6 months that we have been running this business now, you have been a machine, a superhuman, like you always are in everything you do. So this is not something new. This is you. But now, of course, there's a lot of responsibility, there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of factors going on. And then sometimes we just need more relaxation, more time to ourselves. So I'm glad that you're taking it seriously and working on it early before it goes to a burnout, because we know from experience that that can take a long time.
Absolutely. I have to stop it now. Yeah. So if I do the right things now, and I do this for some weeks or a month, hopefully it will be good again. Yeah. So so I will do my best to stop it. Yeah. So I can go beast mode again.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And thank you for sharing this with us, because I know this is not something that's easy for you to talk about, that this going towards a burnout and not performing as much as you expect from yourself. So this takes an honorable man.
Yeah, it is like you say. It's a hard pillow to swallow. Was it that you used to say many times before?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
It is.
Okay, I'm not done yet.
Mhm.
And more than that to take me down.
Mhm. Definitely. And like always, everything we talk about goes back to the personal development. Like if you keep going in the same speed, not listening to your body, not listening to anything, you will crash, and this business will crash, and the family life with your daughter will crash. So what you're doing now is being very honest and honorable and stopping it before it goes too far. And this is about self-care, self-love, and the responsibility you have as a father, as a business partner, as a brother, all of these kind of things. And we talk so much about this in the podcast all the time, but with different kind of topics. And today is a little bit of a different topic about manipulation. It is different than what we have been talking about before. But the reason we have it is because it is very important to know about it and to protect yourself from it, to take care of yourself and your best interests. And it is so important to have healthy boundaries, to know yourself, to work with your personal development and your growth, to hold yourself to higher standards and to value yourself. Because when you know your boundaries, you know yourself, it is more easy to recognize when someone is crossing them. And this is difficult. It's not always easy to understand. Oftentimes we only see it in hindsight that, oh, that person was going over my boundaries. Or if you have a conflict with someone and then you start thinking back, it's easier when you look back at things to analyze things. But what I want to encourage everyone to with this episode, and what I need to work on myself, is to know myself better, know my boundaries, and recognize when people cross it. And also to have knowledge. We have a duty to gain knowledge in this life. And when we gain knowledge about manipulation, it might be easier to protect yourself from being a victim to it. So this episode is meant to spread valuable knowledge about the topic, and it's meant for reflection. So you can learn more about yourself, others, and how to protect yourself.
Manipulation refers to the act of influencing or controlling someone or something in a way that is often deceptive or unfair. It usually involves using subtle or underhanded tactics to sway someone's thought, feeling, or action to serve one's own interest, often without the other person being fully aware of it. In a psychological context, manipulation can involve tactics such as guilt tripping, lying, or playing on emotions to get someone to do something they might not want to do, all while hiding the truth intent. It can happen in personal relationship, professional settings, or in broader social or political situations.
Manipulation can take many forms, and it often involves influencing or controlling others in a way that benefits the manipulator at the expense of the other person. So let's look at some common types of manipulation. We're going to start off with emotional manipulation, and that might be gaslighting, which means manipulating someone into doubting their own perceptions, memories, or realities. That might be if me and Joakim have a conflict and I tell him, no, but it wasn't like this. You said this, you did this. Or I just blame him for it. I blame his reactions to what I'm doing, but I make his reactions being the problem. No, but I did it because you are so exhausting or this and this. So I don't view myself at all. I just make him feel bad about himself. This is gaslighting and it's very bad. And another one is playing the victim, making others feel guilty or responsible for the manipulator's emotional state. And guilt tripping. That is making someone feel guilty or responsible for the manipulator's needs or desires. And another one is love bombing, which means overwhelming someone with affection or attention to gain control over them. And I want to share a quote with you. Manipulation is when they blame you for your reaction to their toxic behavior, but never discuss their disrespect that triggered you.
Psychological manipulation. Mind games, creating confusion, doubt, or uncertainty in someone's mind to control them. Exploiting insecurities. Using someone's weakness or insecurities to influence their decisions. Silent treatment. Withholding communication or affection to punish or control someone. Silence is loud. It is a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm. And another one is social manipulation, like peer pressure, forcing someone to conform to group norms or expectations by levering their desire for approval. And another one is divide and conquer, showing discord or creating conflict between others to isolate and control. And then there's flattery, using excessive compliments to lower someone's defenses and then manipulate them.
And you have financial manipulation, exploration of financial dependency, controlling someone financial to make power over them, debt manipulation, using debt as a tool to control or pressure someone into compliance.
And behavior manipulation, coercion, pressuring or forcing someone into doing something against their will, often through threats or manipulation of circumstances. And conditioning, rewarding or punishing behavior to create desired actions or responses. And love withdrawal, withholding affection or attention to force someone to behave in a certain way.
Then you have physical manipulation, intimidating or bullying, using physical force or the threat of it to control or dominate someone, controlling by threats, treating harm or physical or emotional to get someone to comply.
Information manipulation, misinformation, providing false or misleading information to sway someone's beliefs or actions. Withholding information, selectively keeping information from someone to control their decision making.
Deceptive manipulation, lying or dishonesty, using lies or half-truth to manipulate someone's thought or behaviors. Exaggeration, overstanding facts or outcome to mislead someone into making a decisions they otherwise wouldn't.
And then we have narcissistic manipulation, projection, accusing someone else of the manipulator's own negative traits or behaviors. And then there's triangulation, involving a third party to create conflict, insecurity, or jealousy between others for control. And these are 9 topics that we have divided the different types of tactics in. And it's a very serious topic because, of course, as we looked at in the definition, manipulation is about the manipulator's gain on behalf of someone else's well-being. So it is very serious, and some people use it without knowing it, these kind of tactics, and some know it and use it more planned. And of course, the effects of manipulation can be severe. If you live in a relationship with someone that is manipulative, or you have a friendship or a boss or someone you interfere with, it makes you shrink to a smaller level. It makes you kind of erase your needs and desires and wants because they take up so much space in a way, and they control you. They trick your mind into thinking things that's not right. And the kind of things that we looked at now is that you start doubting yourself when someone uses tactics. So it is easy to kind of fall away from your own self in a way. It gets divided and it's very serious. It's very toxic. So that's why we find it very important to talk about it.
So how can we deal with manipulative people to prevent being controlled by them?
So if someone is saying something uncomfortable, call them out immediately. Let's say a friend comes up to me and say, that is an interesting color of your hijab. And nothing more. It's not that it's very rude, but it just makes me feel uncomfortable. So they probably only do it to plant a doubt or insecurity in me. So then I should just immediately respond, why do you say that? Or what do you mean by that?
Right, because calling them out and clarifying it can solve those things instead of letting them grow.
Exactly. Why let the uncomfortable feelings grow as we carry these incidents along with us? And the thing is that the personal development goes so closely with everything we do. How we solve problems, how we prevent certain problems, how we take care of our own well-being. And of course, manipulation is something that's extremely hard to deal with. It's not easy. So we're not saying that, but that's why we made an entire episode about it, to spread knowledge about it and also talk a bit about how we can work on ourselves, our personal development, and some kind of tactics or responses we can have. And sometimes it's so much easier to see it in hindsight, what we should have done. But if you sit down and you dig deep into the mindset, into your boundaries, you will know more how you can stop things. And just have a go-to line. You cannot plan for every situation, but have a go-to line. If someone comes up to you and say something, try to do what I just said. Say, why do you say that? Because oftentimes they will be so uncomfortable and so shocked because they're not used to being answered to. So have a go-to 1 or 2 things that you can often say if you feel very comfortable, and that will buy you some time and perhaps make them reflect upon why do they have a need to make you feel so uncomfortable.
So, as always, communication is the key. Also, set clear boundaries to yourself. You have a job to do. Sit down and reflect upon this. Please press pause and do it now. What are your boundaries? What is okay to say to you and what is not? When you identify those things, it is easier to identify when someone are acting wrongly. Know when to speak and when to walk away.
Also, you have taught me something, Joakim, about the engagement in people, or about when I get to know people. You have told me to limit my engagement and not trust people until they have proven that they are worth being trusted. Because before, I always thought different. I was so engaged in so many of the people's meeting that I had. In every person I met, I was super engaged, and I always trusted people until they lost their trust. But then there were many sad trust breaks because of that. So now I'm trying to think more as you have taught me.
101% for sure. That's why you protect yourself. You have to be self-aware, trust your instinct, and stand up against what is not right. Because if you're too engaged, you give too much, and then you forget to see what's actually going on, and it's easy to take advantage of you. But you have become very good about this now. So manipulation is a contagious and toxic disease, much more dangerous than the flu, because it can endure for a lifetime.
Mhm. Yeah, these are very clever words. So I think it is very important to think about what I mentioned in the last episode as well about inner self-talk and self-love, self-respect, that who do you give the power to? Because oftentimes the manipulator value themselves so high that they make us shrink and they go over our boundaries, and maybe we feel kind of obligated to do as they say or to play along, and we give and we give and we give because they take and they take and they take. But why should that person have power in your life? We have to remember that through our lifetime, the most important thing you can work on is yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to respect yourself and hold yourself to higher standards. And you have to value your own well-being so high that no one should take it away from you. And oftentimes I try to think in a perspective that I don't know how long time I get on this earth, because if I knew that I was to die tomorrow or next week, I think probably 80% of my problems would just go away immediately because I don't care about it anyways. If that person says this or means this about me, it doesn't matter. So sometimes if you try to think in another perspective, it can take away a lot of the load that you carry on your shoulders. So please reflect upon these things. Who are you? What do you need for your well-being? Who are interfering with your well-being? If someone says something to you that makes you feel uncomfortable, how will you respond? And what values are so important to you? And what boundaries are so important for you that no one should cross? So we've talked a lot about the knowledge behind this, and we've talked a lot about the receiving end. But I also want to mention that if the things that we have talked about now is something that you recognize as something that you use as tactics when you interact with others, or someone that you know use it to others or use it to yourself, you have revealed something very important to work on. So work on yourself if you're using these tactics, because manipulating others is extremely harmful. And if you know someone that is doing it, maybe it would be beneficial to talk to them about it, or to kind of distance yourself to protect yourself. Because always remember your own well-being, always work on yourself, improve yourself, heal from your problems, grow, evolve, and become better. Always.
This episode was recorded March 20, 2025. In the show note, you will find a link to our homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, donate to our podcast, and all the information about subscription you need. Take care of yourself, avoid manipulation, and give it your best. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we will highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. Until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.